Peace. What's good? This is Patrick, Conservative Rap. I'm Patrick. This is Conservative Rap. Let's take a look at the geopolitical and political events of current affairs. You tell me you don't have a hard time staying sane in today's ridiculous world. Norway's crown prince son just charged with 32 counts, including 4 rapes. All right, and just look at this dude. This guy just looks like suspect. I don't know how or why we got conditioned to idolize politicians or celebrities, but here's more truth that you can't trust these mofo's because they're in a suit. All right, let's. This is Libs of TikTok. Trump rips Zelensky for claiming he can't have elections during a wartime. Peep the psychology. Listen to this.
Upon peace, God willing, we get peace. Are you open to holding an election in your country?
Yes, of course. We are open for election, yes. We have to do safety circumstances. And a little bit, we need to work in the parliament because during the war you can't have elections, but we can do security. We need, we need a truth, yes, everywhere, the battlefield, in the sky, and the sea, to make possible for people to do democratic, open, legal elections.
So you say during the war, you can't have elections. So let me just say 3.5 years from now. So you mean if we happen to be in a war with somebody, no more elections? Oh, that's good. I wonder what the fake
You like this idea?
Yeah.
No.
Speaking of news, I got a
Fascinating. First out, I really love how he actually wore a suit. He tried to do his own thing, the all black or whatever, but he's coming into the fold. Now, the psychology here is awesome. During the war, you can't have elections. So let me see, just 3.5 years from now, you mean if we happen to be in a war with somebody, no more elections. This is master use of humor, and you got to give props to Trump for his concentration and focus, in the most intensive situations to catch this stuff. It's amazing. All right, next, let's move on. Major shifts. CNN, the idea that the Ukraine war is going to achieve complete victory has collapsed within their society. This is CNN saying this. 2022, 73% support until victory, 24% in 2025 only support until Ukraine gets the ass beat. They're all tired.
There have been some absolutely major shifts. The idea that Ukraine's going to achieve complete victory, that idea has collapsed within Ukrainian society. What are we talking about here? Ukrainians on the war versus Russia. You go back to 2022, the start of the war. Fight until Ukraine wins. Look at this. The vast majority, about 3/4, 73% agreed with that position. Negotiate to end the war as soon as possible, only 22%. Look at where we are now. It's a complete flip. It's the inverse. Now 69% want to negotiate to end the war as soon as possible, compared to just 24% who want to fight until Ukraine wins. That's a 49-point drop in this position. Now, of course,
Facts. Keep it moving. Roger Stone. Shout out to Roger Stone. We like this guy. President Trump has achieved peace between India and Pakistan, Israel and Iran, a ceasefire, Serbia and Kosovo, deterred escalation, Congo and Rwanda, Thailand and Cambodia, Armenia and Azerbaijan, Saudi Arabia, Syria, Lebanon, and now you see Ukraine and Russia. Peacemaker. I don't understand. Where's the Nobel Peace Prize for our greatest president, Donald Trump? You tell me it's not bias in effect. All right, I'm going to keep it moving. Let me just we're going to clip this. The organization is how I stay focused with the drafting. So a lot to cover here, guys. Let's just I'm going to power through this. Trump. This moment, shout out to Clandestine. I think this moment was far more important than we realize. While Trump has NATO leaders as Zelensky in a photo app, he directs their attention to the painting of that day in Butler. All leaders looked like they just saw a ghost. Does Trump know who tried to kill him? Take a look.
Not a good day. That was not a great day.
And they shook. Ain't no such thing as halfway crooks. All right? This is awesome. Justice is coming for these cowards and these losers who rule in such a covert and sick way. All right, and then we're gonna keep it moving. Newsom signed AB 2839, 2655 in 2024 to curb deceptive deepfakes in elections, but AB 2839 was struck down in August of 2025 as unconstitutional. The Kid Rock image is fake. He's a Trump supporter, not Newsom. Posting it near the November 4th election appears to be hypocritical, violating the bill's spirit. And this is it. I accept. Governor Newsom wants you. Kid Rock wants you to support Gavin Newsom. I think Gavin came out and said this is bullshit. Props to Kid Rock, rather. Kid Rock came out and said this is bullshit. And yeah, it goes to show you they're not the. And this is after he passed some law to purportedly maintain electoral integrity. Howard Lutnick, it's official. We have a historic U.S.-EU framework agreement on reciprocal, fair, and balanced trade. Hell yeah. The EU has agreed to open its $20 trillion market, the second largest in the world behind the great US of A, eliminate U.S. tariff on industrial goods, create historic access to the vast European markets. Cha-ching, farmers, fishermen, and ranchers, holla. 750 billion in European energy demand during President Trump's term, and EU firms will invest an additional 600 billion in new investments in America. The America First Trade Agreement has secured the most important trading partner, creating a major win for American workers, U.S. industries, our national security. Tariffs should be one of America's favorite words. See full joint statement below. America first. Let's go. U.S. and European has reached a trade deal. Same thing, right? EU's to impose 15% tariffs on most EU imports. U.S. to lower auto tariffs once EU passes matching tariff cut legislation. September 1st, U.S. will apply only MFN tariffs on EU aircraft parts, generics, chemical precursors, and scarce natural resources. EU to eliminate tariffs on all industrial goods and grant preferential access to U.S. seafood and agriculture. EU to buy $750 billion in LNG, oil, and nuclear exports. EU to purchase at least $40 billion in U.S. AI chips, investment and cooperation. EU to firms to invest $600 billion in strategic sectors. Both sides to negotiate rules of origin to ensure benefits remain bilateral, exploring cooperation in steel and aluminum, joint commitment to tackle digital trade barriers, considering measures to secure supply chains, including tariff rate quota solutions. All right. And moving on, New York Times is now implying that Pulte is racist for his criminal referral of Lisa Cook for mortgage fraud because she is the first black woman to ever serve as federal governor. No one cares that her ass is black. We care that a taxpayer-funded federal official is a criminal, credibly accused of mortgage fraud. Americans from all walks of life are tired of the media playing their damn race card to protect corruption. And I don't understand where white people learn this fear of being honest with the blacks. How's anything going to improve for the blacks if they're not held accountable and held to some sort of standard? So this DEI nonsense has to stop, and this race-baiting, cowardly, fictitious nonsense of crying about your blackness when you're a freaking criminal needs to stop. If this is true, her ass needs to get in jail quickly, swiftly, and without delay. All right, now let's keep it moving. Total victory in a sham New York Attorney General case. After 5 years of hell, justice prevailed. Federal appeals court just threw out President Trump's $364 million fraud penalty case. It's unjust. How are you going to charge the man that much for this stuff? In 2024, New York judge ordered Trump and his companies to pay $360 million in penalties for claiming they duped banks. And how they duped the banks when they made the banks money and everyone made money is ridiculous. This is a huge win for Trump. Well deserved, and glad justice finally prevailed. All right, we're not going to listen to this. Boom, 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 boom. Keeping it moving. Whistleblower documents on the Clinton Foundation indicate that the enterprise itself was a fraud. Whistleblower meeting notes took by the IRS show that documents on the Clinton Foundation indicated that the entire enterprise is a fraud. IRS began criminal probe into Clinton Foundation, but suddenly stopped, as we covered. All right, we already covered this. Moving it on. Love this. FBI Director Kash Patel full statement discussing the grand conspiracy with Larry Kudlow. It's worth 10 minutes of your time, and he's right. This is worth a full listen. There's a reason that Kash, Tulsi, Ed, and others are all giving media interviews on this topic over the past few days. Guess we'll just have to wait and see why. Right? Let's take a listen.
Now, I got to say, though, Director Kash Patel, my judgment, at least, just one Indian's judgment, the FBI is not here to invade the home of a former president and first lady. That is not what the FBI is supposed to do. Now, that's not under your aegis. That came in the prior administration. I get that. But I have a lot of questions about that. First of all, how is that possible? And how is the FBI just going to go and raid Mar-a-Lago, a president's home, for heaven's sakes. How could that have happened? And would it happen again? That's another question I want to ask.
The answer to both of those questions is the same of terms of origination. It was a total weaponization and politicization by the FBI and DOJ in the Biden administration, dating back to the Obama administration, that led not only to Russiagate, as you opened up with, but to the invasion of Donald Trump's private home in Mar-a-Lago. There was, as we now know, thanks to the federal courts, there was no constitutional basis to do so. There was no lawful predicate to open that investigation. But once you let the politicians run the FBI and DOJ and weaponize it against their political opponents, like they have done for years against Donald Trump, back to Russiagate and to his home, we are now showing and exposing again the weaponization. And to your second point, one.
And we're not going to listen to the whole thing, but you get the idea. Government Gangsters is a great book and a great documentary to cover this stuff. People are waking up. There's nowhere for these people to hide, and justice is coming, as the saying goes. Keeping it on. Gabbard on the decision to cut 40% of the ODNI and confirms that the move parts to drain the mother freaking swamp.
20 years later, here we sit now where ODNI has more than doubled in size, bloated with bureaucracy, inefficiencies and redundancies, wasting taxpayer dollars, but actually getting in the way of the mission that it was charged to do. As you mentioned, it's become rife with politicization and weaponization of intelligence, some of which we've revealed and released over the last few weeks that has occurred under previous directors and previous administrations. And so rooting out those deep state actors who are violating the oath that every intelligence professional swears to the Constitution of the United States, and ultimately undermining this core national security mission that those at ODNI are charged with, that the intelligence community is charged with. So today's announcement is the first step to aggressively get after our core national security mission, root out those deep state actors, and really focus on delivering what the American people deserve.
That's the DNI talking, dog. Like, it's about time. Love to see this, and we're gonna wrap up soon, but we got to get this stuff in. All right, after the public sees Trump successfully clean up D.C. and stop violent crime using the National Guard, this will justify doing the same in other major Democrat-run cities nationwide. So when the deep state tries to activate their Antifa, their illegal alien network of weaponized combatants, we're already going to have the infrastructure to combat that as well. Flashback 9 days ago, Trump said he's going to do D.C. first, and he wants to look at New York, Chicago, L.A., and more. Let's go.
And we're going to have the same thing here. But then I'm going to look at New York in a little while. Let's do this. Let's do this together. Let's see. It's going to go pretty quickly.
Nice.
And if we need to, we're going to do the same thing in Chicago, which is a disaster. We have a mayor there who's totally incompetent.
Right.
He's an incompetent man. And we have an incompetent governor there. Pritzker's an incompetent. His family threw him out of the business, and he ran for governor. And now I understand he wants to be president. But I noticed he lost a little weight, so maybe he has a chance. You know, you never know what happens. But Pritzker's a gross incompetent guy, thrown out of the family business. But when I look at Chicago and I look at L.A., if we didn't go to L.A. 3 months ago, L.A. would be burning like the part that didn't burn. If he would have allowed the water to come down, which I told him about in my first term, I said, you're going to have problems. Let it come down. We actually sent in our military to have the water come down into L.A. They still didn't want it to come down after the fires. But that was it. We have it coming down. But hopefully L.A. is watching. That mayor also. The city's burning.
Yeah, it's almost like synchronistic doesn't describe how the Trump administration, the Patriots, the America First agenda can subtly set the tone with the sequence of events. It's almost like you're watching a movie unfold sometimes with this stuff. And he's absolutely right. Some of these cities are out of control and need to be curtailed. It's ridiculous where it's gone. And God bless this administration for putting it forward. All right. For those calling for the rest, and for those of us who are awake, yeah, let's put things into perspective. I agree with War News here. For those of us who are awake, this needs to be said. America first. Patience is a virtue, all right? And she shows, look at this. 1913, criminals hijacked our money system, occupied us covertly through debt slavery, and infiltrated our government and intelligence agencies. And just on the debt piece, they'll say, they'll come out and say, inflation's at 2% or 3%. If inflation's at 2 or 3%, why was it only 30, 40, 50 years ago you can go to the movies for like $5 or less? Inflation's more like at 3,000%. All right. Then you had World War I, you had World War II, slave presidents doing the bidding of bankers, fulfilling their globalist vision to deplete America through wars and economic decline, including up to the Middle East. He tried to stop them. This is JFK, but they got him. They should also put Reagan here, I think, but it's all right. It's accurate enough. And then 2016, the people overthrew the banking tyrants and took back their public. This is the amount of time we've had to undo the whole mess. This is so well said. This is a mic drop. We got to be patient. The truth is coming out. Information is free. I think it was Trevor Noah's show that just got canceled because of ratings. The populace, it's like, I'd say out of every 5 of us, 4 of us are waking up to what's happening and the real crimes that have been perpetrated over generations. What do you think? Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, share below, and check me out at ConservativeRap.com for more. Thanks and take care.